Some myths and misconceptions regarding drug use. Recreational use of drugs is not harmful. That is wrong. Remember that all illegal drugs are dangerous and can cause physical and physiological changes to the user. Prolonged drug use worsens the harmful effects. Prescription drugs should always be administered and used only at the direction of a physician. Marijuana is no worse than using alcohol or tobacco. Alcohol leaves the body within 24 hours because it is water-soluble. Marijuana is fat-soluble. It attaches to fatty parts of the body, usually the brain and reproductive organs, and can be detected up to 30 days after initial use. Marijuana impairs short-term memory, interferes with reproductive functions, impairs lungs and respiratory functions, interferes with perception, judgment, and fine motor skills. Everybody is taking drugs. Only the weak ones become drug dependent. The majority of the population do not use illegal drugs. Peer pressure is always difficult to cope with, and it takes more courage and strength to stand up for what you know is right. Drug abuse is a victimless crime that only hurts the user. No, it affects the user, one's family, friends, and immediate community and society at large. If a person wants to take drugs, governments should not interfere. The rights of an individual must be consistent with the safety and welfare of all. No one has a right to behave in a manner destructive to others. Users must accept responsibility for the damage, disruption, and destabilizing effects his or her behavior causes. All drug users should be imprisoned. Imprisonment does not solve the problem. Counseling, medical treatment, and long-term support are essential as intervention tools. Imprisonment does not cure the disease, and he or she is likely to return to the drug cycle upon release. How can an individual seek drug treatment and rehabilitation in the Philippines? The steps listed below are the guidelines from the Dangerous Drugs Board. First, a person, the drug user himself or his family, should obtain a referral form for a drug dependency examination to determine the level of a drug user. This is available at the Central Screening and Referral Unit at the Rizal Medical Center in Pasig City. If the drug user is outside Metro Manila, he or she may coordinate with the local anti-drug abuse council for assistance. Second, the drug user has to undergo the drug dependency examination conducted by a physician accredited by the Department of Health. The DDE determines a person's level of drug use. Level 1 is the experimenter. Level 2, social recreational user. Level 3, habitual user. Level 4, drug abuser. And level 5, drug dependent. Third, if found to be a drug abuser or drug dependent from 4th and 5th levels, a certification together with the other requirements should be submitted by the Legal Affairs Division of DDB, either by parents, guardians, or spouse of the user. Other requirements include police clearance, barangay clearance, and a certificate of no pending case from the Regional Trial Court, or RTC. If the drug dependent is a minor and has a pending case in court, he or she, together with his or her guardian, must secure a certification of suspended sentence from the RTC, where the case is filed. Those found to fall under the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd levels can avail of outpatient services such as counseling. Fourth, the drug dependent or a family member must fill out an application form and have it notarized as requirements for the petition for confinement. The form will then be filed with an RTC in the area where the drug dependent resides. If the drug dependent is a minor, parents or guardian can submit in his or her behalf. In case of compulsory confinement, the family member of the drug dependent must execute an affidavit indicating that they are submitting the alleged drug dependent for treatment and rehabilitation. DDB will prepare a petition for a confinement and file the same with the RTC. Drug dependents who cannot afford a lawyer can avail of free legal counsel and representation from public attorney's office, lawyers nationwide. Lastly, the drug dependent or a family member can decide where to avail of drug treatment and rehabilitation. DDB may recommend government-owned RTCs for individuals who cannot afford to avail of the services of private centers. Each treatment and rehabilitation center employs a treatment modality in its program. According to DDB, there are currently 5 modalities which can be applied to drug dependence: multidisciplinary team approach, therapeutic community approach, Hazelden, Minnesota model, spiritual approach, and eclectic approach.